Never Stop Learning, week 243. We're going to take a quick look at Workspaces in Adobe Illustrator CC 2015. All right, so Workspaces have been around for a really long time, and what they do is they actually manage and organize your panels. All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys the existing Workspaces, the ones that ship native in Adobe Illustrator, and I'm also going to show you guys how to customize and save off your own. Right now what you're seeing is the Essentials workspace, how it is by default. Over here on the right, you're going to see the Libraries panel, which is a new feature in Adobe Illustrator, and I think that's why they're kind of showing it off. On my channel, I have a video that kind of covers some of the features in more detail. Over on the left, we have a Tools panel. Now mine's going to look a little bit different than yours because I have the Astute Graphics plugins installed. And let's take a look over here in the upper right. If you click on this little drop-down menu, at the top, this section is going to show you the customized workspaces that I created. Over here in this next section, these are the workspaces that ship native with Adobe Illustrator. You could also bring up your recent files. This is going to be the startup workspace, which is what you see when you first launch Illustrator and you don't have a document open. Then over here in this last section, this is where you could reset the workspace that you're currently in. You could create a new workspace and you could manage your workspaces. All right, now I'd like to show you guys the different workspaces that ship with Adobe Illustrator. Over here at the top, when you click on Automation, notice it brings up the Actions panel. We have the Libraries panel and Appearance panel. All right, so what it's doing is it's bringing up the panels that you're more likely to use if you're going to have an automated workflow. All right, back over here in the top right, I'm going to click on the drop-down menu. We already did Essentials. I'm going to skip through some of these, but look, when you go to Painting, it's going to bring up panels that you would assume would be in a painting workflow. Over here at the top, you have your Color panel. Down over here at the bottom, you have your brushes. You're usually going to see your libraries because it's a new feature and it's just really handy for your workflow. It's a quick way for you to bring in assets. All right, so I'm going to click on this guy again. Let's go with Tracing. The reason I want to click on that is it actually brings up the Image Trace panel. Back over here at the top, let's go with Topography. Notice we have all these different panels that are going to help us out when we're working with topography. Let's say we're laying out some kind of text. Back over here at the top, let's go with Web. So Web, you're definitely going to have your libraries and symbols together so you could bring in or trade assets really quickly. All right, I'm going to go back to the Essentials workspace. And now I want to show you guys how to customize these. All right, so over here on the right, I'm going to click on Libraries just to kind of tuck that guy away. And what I want to do is start pulling out some of these panels that I want to use. All right, so this one right here is the Appearance panel. I'm going to bring this one out. And down over here at the bottom again, we have the Layers panel, so I'm going to bring this one out. Now, these double arrows, when you click on them, it's going to extend the panel so you can see the whole thing. That looks great. Now, another panel that I use all the time, back in the Window menu, this is where you're going to find the other panels that you don't have exposed. I'm going to go through these guys until I find my Navigator. When I click on that, it brings up the Navigator panel along with Info. Now, this is an older panel, and I see people with newer workflows might not use this, but I like to work in outline mode, and when I work in outline mode, I'm working with the structure. This panel is going to give me a quick look at the appearance of what I'm looking at, so I find this handy in my workflow. All right, so I'm going to bring this guy up, and I want to dock it to this Appearance panel. Notice I have that blue line. All right, I'm going to release, and now these guys are docked together. All right, I'm going to grab this Layers, bring it over here towards the right, dock this guy here, and release. So now all three of these guys are together. So this is pretty much something I learned from Morty Golding watching old lynda.com videos. All right, so I'm going to grab this bar, click and drag towards the right until I see this blue highlight, and release. So for me, this is a great start for a new workspace. But I'm going to continue to make some changes. Really quick, remember you could tuck this guy away. So if you just want more space to paint, I would recommend doing that. All right, so I'll bring this guy back again. Now let's make some changes over here. Let's say we don't want to use color themes. It's actually one that I do keep in my workspace, but I just want to show you how to remove it. Click and drag to bring it out. Now you have it as a little floating icon. Click on the X, and now you've removed it. You could always bring it back by going into the Window menu, scrolling through and finding color themes. All right, now the one I want to bring up is going to be Align. When I click on that, this one's great because not only do I bring along Align, but I also bring Transform and Pathfinder. Now these are all three panels that I use all the time. So I'm going to grab this bar, click and drag, bring it towards the bottom. See that blue highlight? I'm going to release, and now it's part of this spine here. Now I like working with this spine because check this out. If I come to the top and then choose the color panel, I'll make some changes in there that I need. But now let's say I need to bring up the symbols panel. When I click on that, it actually tucks away that color panel for me. So this is a way for me to keep everything organized. I'm only looking at the panels that I need at that particular time. I actually like to start off with the least amount of panels and then bring them in as I need them for each particular project. All right, once I have this set up exactly how I need it, I'm going to come back over here to the top right, and I'm going to find this drop-down menu. Click on that, and then just go to New Workspace. Once I find New Workspace, click on that, and then you're going to be able to name your new workspace. So I'm going to name this guy NSL 243, and then click OK. Notice over here in the top right, it changed the name of this workspace. All right, I'm going to click on the drop down and switch over to Essentials. Notice there's really no change. What happened was Illustrator's remembering the changes that we made last to Essentials. Now that doesn't mean that this change is permanent. Let's go back over here to the top right, scroll down and find Reset Essentials. When I click on that, it's going to bring back Essentials to how it was by default. All right, so what happened to our customized workspace? Back over here at the top, let's go with NSL 243, and then it brings everything back to how we had it. All right, and you can continue to add or remove them as you go with your particular workflow. All right, so back over here in this drop-down menu. Now I want to show you guys these customized ones that I created. All right, so Sebastian Bleek, Never Stop Learning. This was one that I had last time. Notice I have the appearance panel, layers, navigator, and swatches. I'm usually going to have these guys up. I'll switch over to a different one when I made a demo for Wacom. I'll click on that. Notice I took this away because I needed this area to draw in. My favorite drawing tool is going to be Dynamic Sketch. Here I have the appearance panel, I have my layers, and my swatches. All right, now things are going to get interesting once I switch over to AG plugins. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and let's see. Let me just reset this guy. There we go. So this is the AG plugins workspace that I saved off. Notice over here on the right, I have a ton of different panels with different colors. These are the Astute Graphics plugins, and I have them organized by the type of jobs that they do. Over here on the left, my tools panel actually looks vastly different than it did when I first started this video. All right, so I have a different video where I covered customizing your tools panel in more detail, but I just want to bring this up really quick. Notice I do not have any of the native tools. I'm just showing the Astute Graphics plugins tools. So when I just want to work with those tools, this is a quick way for me to be able to access them. All right, in the window menu, scroll down, find Tools. Right here we have Default. So when you click on that, it's going to bring up the default tools panel for you. Again, in the window menu, find Tools. Over here, these are the customized tools panels that I created, but I could also create a new tools panel. All right, so clicking on that, we have to name this. So I'm going to call it NSL 243. Click OK. And it gives us this little baby tools panel here. All right, the way you create a new one is just grab a tool you like the pen tool, click and drag. Oops. Let's switch over pen tool, click and drag. And then once you get that plus symbol, release. I guess you got to be a little bit quicker when you have a stack of them here. All right, so if you want to grab, let's say, I don't know, this shape tool here, the rectangle tool, click and drag, bring it over here. Once you get that blue highlight, release. All right, the same thing works with these plugins. I'm going to grab Dynamic Sketch, click and drag, bring it over here, and then release. And you can continue to build this tools panel. All right, I'm going to get rid of the default one and just show you guys how to get this guy off. Click and drag, release, then hit X. All right, now when you have this guy right here, it's kind of tricky as well. You have the X and you have the double arrow. Right in the middle, there's a very tiny space that you could click and drag, dock it over here, and release. And then you could save this off as a new workspace. And there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at Workspaces in Adobe Illustrator CC 2015.